Patricia was one of the healthiest patients I had ever seen, 64 years old. No smoking, no alcohol. She exercised 3 times a week, ate clean, and did something most Americans can't even manage. She drank her 8 glasses of water every single day. She had done it religiously for over 20 years. So when she came into my office complaining of crushing fatigue, brain fog so thick she couldn't finish a sentence, and memory lapses that were scaring her family, I was confused. On paper, this woman was doing everything right, but when I ran her blood work, and when I asked her one very specific question about how she was drinking that water, my stomach dropped. Because Patricia wasn't hydrating her brain, she was quietly poisoning it. Who is talking to you today? My name is Dr. James Harlow. I've been practicing internal medicine for 10 years, specializing in cardiovascular and metabolic health in adults over 50. And I need to tell you something that contradicts almost everything you've been told about hydration. Drinking 8 glasses of water a day is not automatically good for you. In fact, for adults over 60, how you drink water, the timing, the source, and the mineral content can be the difference between a sharp, functioning brain and one that is slowly being starved of the very nutrients it needs to survive. This is not a fringe theory. This is basic physiology that most doctors simply don't take the time to explain. And if you are over 60 and you drink water the way Patricia did, you need to hear this today. What she was actually doing wrong. Here's what Patricia was doing wrong, and I promise you it will surprise you. She was drinking large amounts of plain filtered water, often 2 to 3 glasses at a time, first thing in the morning, before meals, and throughout the day on a rigid schedule, regardless of thirst. Sounds responsible, right? But here's what was actually happening inside her body. Every time Patricia flooded her system with large amounts of plain water in a short window, she was diluting her blood sodium levels, a condition called hyponatremia, and in adults over 60, whose kidneys are already less efficient at regulating fluid balance, this becomes dangerous faster than most people realize. Low sodium doesn't just make you feel tired, it shrinks your brain cells. It impairs the electrical signals neurons use to communicate. It causes the exact symptoms Patricia was experiencing: confusion, fatigue, memory loss, and cognitive fog. And she was doing it every single day, thinking she was taking care of herself. The science your doctor never explained. Let me walk you through exactly what happens in the aging brain when hydration goes wrong, because this is more serious than most people know. Number 1. Hyponatremia, the silent brain drain. Sodium is not the enemy. Your brain depends on it. Sodium regulates the fluid balance inside and outside your cells, and it powers the electrochemical signals that allow neurons to fire. When blood sodium drops even slightly, brain cells begin to swell. In mild cases, this causes fog and fatigue. In moderate cases, it causes confusion and memory failure. In severe cases, it causes seizures, coma, and death. A landmark study in the American Journal of Medicine found that chronic mild hyponatremia, the kind caused by habitual overhydration, was associated with significant cognitive impairment. Older adults. Most of them had no idea it was happening. Number 2. The aging kidney problem. Here's what makes this especially dangerous after 60. Your kidneys lose approximately 1% of their filtering efficiency every year after the age of 40. By the time you're 64, like Patricia, your kidneys are significantly less capable of excreting excess water quickly. That means water consumed in large quantities accumulates in your system faster than it can be processed, and sodium dilution happens more rapidly and more severely than it would in a younger person. The body that could handle 3 glasses of water at once at age 35 simply cannot do it at 64. Number 3. Mineral depletion and neural starvation. Plain filtered water, especially reverse osmosis water, contains virtually no minerals. When you consume large amounts of it, it doesn't just hydrate you, it actively flushes electrolytes, sodium, potassium, magnesium, out of your system through urine. Magnesium alone is responsible for over 300 enzymatic reactions in the body, including the production of ATP, the energy currency your brain runs on. Studies show that up to 45% of older adults are already deficient in magnesium. Chronic overhydration with plain water makes that deficiency dramatically worse, and a magnesium-starved brain ages faster, thinks slower, and forgets more. Number 4. Drinking by schedule, not by thirst. One of the most damaging pieces of health advice ever given to older adults is to drink water on a schedule rather than listening to your body. The 8 glasses a day rule has no firm scientific basis. It was never validated in a clinical trial. In fact, thirst is one of the most sophisticated and accurate hydration signals your body produces. For adults over 60, overriding that signal and forcing fluid intake leads directly to the kind of chronic low-grade overhydration that dismantles brain function over months and years. Patricia had been ignoring her thirst for 2 decades. She was drinking not because her body asked for it, but because a number told her to. Number 5. Tap water and the neurotoxin nobody talks about. For patients who drink unfiltered tap water, there is an additional layer of danger. Municipal tap water in the United States legally contains fluoride, a compound added with good intentions, but one that at chronic exposure levels has been linked in multiple peer-reviewed studies to reduced IQ, impaired memory, and neurotoxic effects on the aging brain. A 2020 analysis published in Environmental Health Perspectives identified fluoride as a developmental neurotoxin for adults over 60 whose brain detoxification pathways are already compromised. Daily fluoride exposure through tap water is a risk most doctors are simply not discussing. What happened to Patricia? When I explained all of this to Patricia, she stared at me for a long moment. Then she said, "You're telling me the one thing I was most proud of was hurting me?" Yes, that's exactly what I was telling her. We made 3 changes. We reduced her water intake to thirst-guided sipping rather than scheduled gulping. We switched her to mineral-rich spring water, and we added a high-quality magnesium supplement in the evening. 8 weeks later, her daughter called my office to tell me her mother had cried at dinner, not from sadness, because she had remembered on her own, without being reminded. Her granddaughter's school play was that Friday. It was the first time in over a year she had remembered something like that unprompted. Patricia wept. Her family wept. That is what proper hydration can do for an aging brain. What you should do instead. If you are over 60, here is exactly how I recommend you hydrate to protect your brain. Drink to thirst, not to a number. Your body knows when it needs water. Trust it. Forcing fluid intake beyond genuine thirst is not virtue, it is self-harm. Sip slowly throughout the day rather than drinking large amounts at once. Give your kidneys time to process. Never drink more than 1 glass in a 20-minute window unless you are exercising heavily. Switch to mineral-rich spring water. Look for water with measurable levels of calcium, magnesium and sodium on the label. Your brain needs those minerals. Plain filtered water strips them away. Add a pinch of high-quality sea salt or a small amount of electrolyte powder to your morning water, especially if you exercise or sweat regularly. This is not about sodium overload. It is about protecting the electrochemical environment your neurons live in. If you drink tap water, filter it. At minimum, use a filter certified to reduce fluoride and chlorine. Your aging brain cannot afford daily neurotoxin exposure. Final message and call to action. I know this is hard to hear, because drinking your 8 glasses felt like one of the good things, one of the responsible things, one of the things you were getting right. But after 60, the rules change, your body changes, and the habits that served you at 40 can quietly become the habits that betray you at 64. Here's what I want you to do right now. Think about how you drink water. Are you drinking on a schedule, drinking large amounts at once, drinking plain filtered water with no minerals? If the answer is yes, start making changes today, not next week. Today, then watch the next video where I'll show you the exact morning hydration protocol I give to every patient over 60 who wants to protect their brain, their heart, and their energy for decades to come. If this video surprised you, and I think it did, share it with someone over 60 who is proud of their water habit. They deserve to know the truth. I'm Dr. James Harlow. I'll see you in the next one.